So I wondered, what I notice in a lot of entrepreneurs and people across the board is if they strive for something bigger, it may be money or maybe in sports there's a part of them that's not content with the place they're at right now. So I don't have money right now and I want to be a millionaire. Or I'm not the number one in the world right now, but I want to be. And you start working and you have to find a balance between being content with the things you do and achieve, all the while staying not content to keep the fuel to keep working and developing. Do you think there's a way for people to be content but all the while be working to something greater? And if yes, how do you go about that? Because a lot of my goals come from some sort of not being content with where I'm at right now. May it be the money I have, the body I have, a lot of things. And if I would be content, I would be like, well, fuck it, it's fine. I'm good like this, just like the fisher. I'm happy. Why should I do it?
Contentment and satisfaction are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
You can be satisfied with your achievements, but content at the same time. You could be unsatisfied with your achievements, still content, right? Content is a state of being. Or you could be unsatisfied with your achievements and look at the future, what you haven't accomplished, and be uncontent with your current situations or your achievements. Instead of looking at the future, right, what you haven't been able to achieve, looking into a future that you haven't created, look into the past and realize how much progress you've made, how much better you are today than you were before, and let that progress fuel you to continue working towards becoming the next version of yourself. Brother, it's the fucking journey of life. It's the journey. The process is the prize. The prize isn't the destination. It's the process. It's who you become. You want to achieve that? Perfect. You achieve it. Pull the silver thread. Have you heard the story of the silver thread? There's this tale about the silver thread. This small boy, he's about to go to school and he's not content. He doesn't want to go to school. As he goes to school, he encounters an old lady, right? And the old lady says, well, if you pull from this ball of yarn that's silver, you can pull it and time will pass. So he's like, well, I'm going to pull it because, I don't want to go to summer. I don't want to be in school. I just want to go to summer. So the little boy says, okay, I'm going to take this. And the old lady says, hey, but there's a catch, right? Once you pull the thread, you can never go back. You can never go back. You can only go forward. But you can pull the thread as many times or as little times as you want. So the little boy pulls the thread, boom, summertime. He says, oh, well, this is a great thing. I was able to skip the entire year of school. He's like, well, what if I skip all of the years of school? So he tugs again, boom, university. Oh, well, university's tough, and maybe university isn't for me. What if I can just get straight to work? Boom. Tugs the little ball of yarn, slowly turning from silver to copper, decaying in color because it represents time. He says, you know what? I'm in the workforce, but I'm unhappy because I'm alone. Let me pull this thread eventually to be in a relationship. Pulls the thread, boom, married. Oh, what happened? I'm married? I missed my wedding day? Oh, well, it's okay. It's not a big deal. Let me just never pull this thread again. So a little time goes by. Eventually, his wife gets pregnant. The wife gets pregnant, has the baby, but then the baby begins to yell and scream. Oh, man, I have to deal with this baby. Let me pull the thread till the baby's grown up a little bit. Pulls the thread, the child grew up. Eventually, he realizes at an old age that what happened? That he wanted to fast forward all of his life, that he wasn't able to experience it. Now the story continues, but the premise is very simple. To live in the future is your inability to live in the present. And people that live in the future are often unhappy. Why? Because they want to be something that they're not. Look at the past, look at who you've become, the progress that you've made. And if you haven't made a lot of progress, just be happy at the fact that you're fucking alive. Because you have the chance to make progress. And live in the present moment, here, now, and use your time, energy, and attention, my friend, to pursue your goal.
Interesting.
Great answer, man.
Great advice.
I like the story.
Yeah, I'm wondering as well, listening to you recite some of these stories and have some, I think, very great quotes. How do you go about having these stories or quotes stored somewhere in your mind? Do you go about writing them down and remembering them, or how do you have all this knowledge just to scoop up and tell when you're in a podcast? I think you're a great storyteller. Did you train that, or have you always been a great storyteller?
The more you know, the more you know.
True.
So just spend time focusing on knowing more things.
Mm-hmm.
An idle mind is the devil's workshop. That means that an empty mind is open for mischief and doing bad things. When you occupy your time in developing your mind, your spirit, your soul, then that is what reflects. There's a verse in the Bible that says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Right? So when you see people talking, and it's a reflection of what's inside. Right? So the question is, how do you change your heart? How do you change your mind? Well, it's the sources of information that you listen to, the truth that you believe, what you spend your time, energy, and attention focused on learning and leveling up and discovering. So focus on developing self, and self will develop. If you want to be the best podcast host, do many podcasts. It's the only way.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to be a great podcast guest, well, I have to be in many podcasts. I remember doing Instagram lives, back in the day with people that would listen to me. There was 14 people, right? Now I'll turn on my Instagram. I do an Instagram live. I'll have 3,000, 2,500, 5,000 at times. But like I mentioned before, the destination everybody looks at, right? Nobody looks at the process. But when you look at the process, that's the prize. And the truth is, the price of progress is pain. The price of progress is pain. Most people do not want to experience pain. They like comfort. So if you want progress, you must be willing to, in the process, experience pain so that you may achieve your goal.
What is pain for you then? Because it is like mental pain, right? Most of the time. Of course, you can have like physical pain, but if we talk about mental pain, can you give some examples for you? Like, what are some mental pains that you have now during the days that you are here or when you're working?
I mean, they're human things, You can live in the future. You can compare yourself to other people. I was walking in Dubai, and there was a guy that was walking, and he goes to a bench, right? And he starts doing push-ups, arms against the bench, and he does 4, and he gets up, and he walks past me. I'm like, bro, you only did 4, you're super weak. And he's like, and he started giving me reason. No, I only did 4. The bench was broken. I'm like, and I looked at my assistant. You see, I said, even people that are strangers, they're always trying to justify their actions to others. So you always have the pain of comparison. It's easy to compare yourself in the age of the internet to other people. I'm human. The pain of living in the future, right? The pain of, we talked about this, of speaking down on your past achievements and what you could be, you should be, but you aren't.
Mm-hmm.
There are many pains that I experience, but I think you can liberate yourself from a lot of these things by living in the present moment, by being here right now. Because when you were a kid, you didn't experience, there's people that have bad childhoods. I'm talking in general. Let's say you live a decent childhood. Most children, they live in the present moment, right? Whatever they're doing at that time, that's what they're doing. This idea of living in your head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't exist. I have my team, sometimes they're like, oh, well, and they see me like looking out into the sky or whatever, looking like blank, and they're like, well, you're thinking about everything, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm fucking thinking about everything, right? So sometimes I have to catch myself living in a state of pain, but often, like the Buddha says, being in a state of pain or living in a state of anxiety or in a state of suffering comes from attachment, right? So when you're attached to things, attached to people, attached to identities, attached to philosophies, attached to all these things, then you end up being in a situation where you experience pain. But you don't have to experience suffering if you live in a state of what? no expectation, where you're just living life, taking it day by day, step by step, and enjoying yourself. The Buddha taught this, so it's his wisdom, not mine.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of stoic thoughts as well, right? A bit of the interesting.
What is up, guys? We just got here to Tirana, Albania. We're gonna have a fucking crazy Capital Club Europe Mastermind, the first one ever. 70 entrepreneurs from 17 different countries. It's gonna be an absolute amazing experience.
When you want to make a move, Capital Club allows you to get the value to understand what's the right move to take next. You brainstorm with your people and you decide on what to go next. Part of elevating is you need to be adding the right stuff to your life. And Capital Club, in my opinion, has all the elements. Everything from health, wealth, love, and happiness, as well as network.
I really saw the power of connecting with like-minded individuals with the same opinions towards life. It's not just business that you can relate to people at masterminds, but also just generally towards life and learn a lot from them in other aspects like health, relationships.
When you network with people of this caliber, the ripple effect it will have in your future is enormous, infinite ROI. This isn't like a transactional thing, you pay this and you get this. It's you pay this and you have knowledge that will carry on forever, that will always serve you.
Most people live by the influence and the circumstances created by other men. Create the circumstances in your life that are gonna take you to the next level. This is the key to winning, the key to success. Control your circumstances and you will be successful.
Yesterday was too late. Just fucking do it.
Let's fucking go!
Really understood now that meeting people is quite important. Before I didn't really think that way. I thought I could do everything by myself, but at this point I think totally different.
You know, people say time is money, but time is not money, bro. Time is time and money is money, baby.
This is Capital Club, man. Albania, baby. Albania, baby.
It's all about understanding what the next move is because things are changing at a completely rapid pace and you got to be ahead of the curve and you got to have the edge. That's what Capital Club's all about, finding that edge.
Life is like a game. One day, it will be game over. And the question is, how did you live your life?